welcome to Heartwoods Haven. I am your host, Brandy Swords, and I have a special co-host, Lynn Miner. And our guest today is John Wells. Thank you for coming on, John.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yes. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so John Wells, I live in Pickaway County at the northernmost point. It's in Orient. I joke with people that I'm basically in Columbus because Columbus is a closer drive to me than Circleville is. So I've lived there coming on 5-6 years now, give or take. Before that, I used to travel a lot for work, lived around the country, and then but I grew up in Northeast Ohio in a small town called Aurora. Otherwise, yeah. So for my work, I work as a lobbyist for Nationwide Insurance, doing government relations in the Ohio State House, and I also help manage our political programs.
Wow, that is awesome. Yes. Well, we have a couple different questions, so we'll just take turns, and so we'll start with Lynn.
Yep. Hey, John, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey, what was it that actually brought you to mental health advocacy?
Yeah, so started off, I joke with people, I'm Mr. Serotonin. I always feel bad. Like, I never had a depressed day, bad day in my life. Like, even when it's sad or things are hard, I'm always super upbeat, just can't help myself. That being said, I got married almost 8 years ago now. And my wife turned 25 after we got married and experienced a full psychotic break. Suicidal ideation, attempts, you name it. And long story short, that was my first experience with mental health. I had no idea that world existed. I had no idea that, it wasn't people just went having a bad day, that there was this whole, world of health issues and advocacy. So I reached out after a little while, kind of getting my feet up from under me, trying to solve it myself first, which was not the right call, but reached out to NAMI, Southern Ohio, for help. At that point, the organization had suffered a lot. They didn't have much staff. They didn't have much going on. And I wasn't able to actually connect with anyone for over a year. I kept messaging, kept calling, finally got a hold of someone. Probably was a little rough at first of them, but I basically said, you need to put me on your board. I got on the board, and as things started to change and transition within a year, we kind of recaptured some elements, kept the ball rolling. And actually, I became president the next year along with a lot of new board members, and we started to rebuild NAMI Southern. It went from servicing 5 counties roughly, but in reality probably 1, to now we're servicing 12 counties, and we're the largest geographic NAMI in Ohio.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I kind of fell into it because I was looking to join Family to Family group, couldn't find it. So I rebuilt one, and now I run Family to Family groups. So
yeah. I have just been impressed with the improvement that has been done for NAMI in this area. It's just been amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's been really cool. And so, it's been two and a half now great years of that kind of transitional leadership. The beginning of this year, I actually rolled off of president, became president emeritus. I put in the bylaws my wife's brilliance of a term limit for presidents, so that way I wouldn't run myself crazy, which was great. And I think it allows we've got Wally Byrne now, who's a great president, and I'm advising, but I'm still on the board and running the fundraising committee. So I'm still very heavily involved, but no longer at the helm. I'll probably transition back there at some point, but I'm happy to kind of take a break.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate all the work you all have been doing. This has been great.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, how would you describe your work in one sentence? Or can you in one sentence?
Yeah, let's say.
That's hard. That's hard.
I'll make a joke. It's careful what you wish for. I was looking to just join Family group because I had no idea. And I'll as a young husband, I made a lot of mistakes with my wife with the best of intentions because I didn't know. As I said, I never was depressed, never been anxious. So I didn't really know how to handle it. And so I had to learn and grow through that. But one of the things is careful what you wish for, I joke, because now, as I said, we've rebuilt this organization, which I'm still very involved, still on the board. I also now got recruited onto the NAMI Ohio board, and I've been on that board for about a year now. So that's the statewide board that oversees all the affiliates. And then I've, helped out a variety of other organizations, guest spoke with you guys, of course, and a few others. And I was looking for someone I was sitting back years ago going, man, why doesn't someone try and fix something? And sometimes you do that and you go, oh, it's because I have to do it. It's because it's like I'm waiting for someone else. And it's like, no, this is the sign. You can get hit over the head enough times before you learn, like, nope, I'm being told, by God, higher power, whatever you believe, that I needed to go pursue this. And I needed to be the one to start making some changes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what, I'm kind of curious, what does mental health equity mean to you?
Equity. Wow. So I said, I work at the State House. I brought that up earlier. So equity is a fun thing. Parity is another word, but I will say mental health equity to me means complete parity with other healthcare. And we do not see that. I mean, you're seeing insurance companies, everyone, even though it's the law, parity is the law. These groups are being treated differently. And even the public, like I think NAMI brings it up a lot, where it's called casserole diseases. Like if your neighbor has cancer, or your neighbor has a lifelong illness, people, hey, can I mow your lawn? Can I do this for you? Hey, this is a bad season for you. The disease flared up. This happened. It's a community. Mental health doesn't have that. And still to this day, my wife and I, it's come a lot. We've been very open to people about her struggles, but also like when she was a kid, it was a different world. Like she saw a therapist as a kid, and through no fault of her parents, they just didn't know people didn't know what to do. It was a different world. It was like, hey, we can't tell people you're doing this because they'll look at you differently. And that was true back then. And we're still fighting that stigma. It's not nearly as bad, but I think it's foolish to say we're there. Like we have a long way to go before people view this the same way they view other illnesses. No one looks at someone with MS and says, oh, wow, maybe if you just smile a little more, went out in the sunshine. Like that's not how that works. And I think, parity is when we achieve that. So hence there's a long road ahead.
Yeah, we're all going to be, advocating for that stigma because, we've been there or we've experienced a loved one that's been there. And it takes people like us to be able to help break that stigma. Yep. And like you said, it's gotten better, but there's still more work that needs to be done.
Yep. As you know, we don't get complacent. So it's like, cool, that we make so much progress, but I won't be happy till we're at equality on all fronts on that. So long road ahead.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Totally. Yes.
So what is it that keeps you motivated?
I'll joke. I'm naturally a motivated person, as I told you earlier. So, and that's where, as I said, when I had that moment where I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be the one doing this. Like, I'm very much that person where I can self-start my own engine. I'm an Energizer bunny. I go. I do it for work. I do it for this. And it's one of those things where, it's what I need to do. But I say what keeps me motivated really is my wife. Like, people don't realize, and I hear this a lot, especially when she's having her good days or things are good. People have no idea, and they don't understand how much harder a lot of things are for her. And I've we joke about it at home. Like I tell people, and like they're like, "Well, I don't know how you do all this." I go, "It's easy for me. It's harder for my wife. Like she's the one she has a lot harder stuff going on, and just like with all my energy and everything else, this stuff, all this work, easy. That's not the hard battle. The battle is with her and what she's experiencing." So that's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's what keeps me going.
Yeah. And so that kind of leads me to the question, what helps people move from the stigma to support?
Unfortunately, I've experienced this in the State House in my personal life. It's when it affects you. And that's, but I will say, I don't think people realize how it affects them. And I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, State House, out and about, where they might not have a child or a spouse that has it, but you can usually find someone like, oh, I loved my uncle, but man, sometimes mom and dad would say we couldn't see him for a month because he was being a little like he was off doing something. And you find out he wasn't off doing something. He was in a psychiatric hospital, or he was experiencing episodes and know how to treat it. Like that is the difference. And I think it's just finding that personal connection for people. And once they can make that personal tie to it, that's when their eyes are opened.
Right.
Oh yeah, I agree. And we've seen where you're talking about baking. So why baking?
I always put this in my bio because it's my funny story. So when I first got married, before my wife's psychotic break, we had a moment where she introduced me to the Great British Bake Off. Now, as a young, foolish husband, as I'm sure you both can imagine, a young man, mid-20s, I had all the confidence in the world and nothing to back it up.
Yeah.
So she went to the show, and I was less than impressed. So I was like, I could do that. And she was like, the hell you can. Like, what do you mean?
Tell me. Tell me what you can do.
I had to prove her wrong. So I started, testing the waters, baking, and I ended up really liking it and being fairly good at it. I wasn't at their level. I've gotten better and better. And actually, as of recently, my wife always has the last 2 years submitted me for the Great American Bake Off, which is the spinoff show.
Oh,
So I make
wow.
everything: cakes, tarts, macarons. If you all, my Instagram always has those bakes. I love bringing. My claim to fame recently is we had a work competition. I work for a fairly large company. Nationwide Insurance is a Fortune 100 company.
Yeah.
And for the legal department, I brought in a cake that I made, a Black Forest Coteau cake, gorgeous. Decorated myself, brought in, and I found out I got disqualified because they thought I bought the cake from a bakery.
Oh.
And then I showed them the process pictures, and they were like, "Oh my God, we're so sorry!" Like, because it was like a friendly country, like, "Hey, we didn't like it's a quiet disqualification. Like, we didn't want it to be. We just but like you entered the contest. We thought it was a mistake." And I'm like, "No, I made this."
Oh, wow.
So that's what my recent claim to fame. Like, oh wow, like people thought this was a bakery's cake. Like I went to a boutique bakery and bought a cake. So
wow.
I do a lot. Like my friend recently had a baby shower, and I made. She's a big Disney person. I made Mickey Mouse macarons. So those like cookies. So I made the Mickey shaped, did the buttercream and the raspberries cut, and those were a lot of fun too. But I do a lot of like fun, quirky projects.
Cool. Okay, so do you have like one meal recipe you like to go to, your favorite?
My favorite. Ooh, I would say I bake everything, and I literally made everything. I bake all my own bread now. All that kind of stuff. But I'll say my favorite thing I love to bake, which it's simple, but they always look good. They're classic, and people love it, is homemade pretzels. And I'm talking the traditional way where you actually use lye. So if you don't know, lye can burn your skin. Even so it's basically like a chemistry project. So I have to put on goggles and gloves and drop boiling lye mixture. And it's fun. It feels like you're in middle school science again, mixing things together. But I enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And they're really good.
A baking show.
Maybe sometime. Yeah, we could do that. It'd be a fun little event.
Well, that's what I was going to say. How has cooking taught you patience and care? When you cook, does it help with your mental health?
Yeah. So for me, that's my stress relief. So I do I do a lot between my wife. I also do this NAMI stuff, state and local, as you guys know, with the affiliate. My job is very busy. I work a lot of hours. I'm involved in a couple other charities, and on top of that, I'm just very involved with friend groups, church, and several others. So I have a very full calendar. And I do that to my fault. I can't say no. And so my way that I kind of de-stress is I bake. And people always joke, if I start posting more on my Instagram with bakes, what's going on? You okay? Sometimes we all make 6 things in one day, and they're and it's 2 a.m. I'm posting homemade macarons and pretzels. They're like, it's okay. You're doing all right there. It seems like you're just trying to for me, it's very, you can put everything into a bake it, and then it's done. It's almost like you quite literally put everything in, it comes out and it's finished. And it's a process.
Yeah.
And that process can help you get clarity as you're thinking through things. And it means you can't do other things. If I'm kneading bread, I can't be furiously sending emails about a topic that's stressing me out.
You're right. You're right. I totally agree.
Yeah. Plus, you get something to eat afterwards, which is a win-win.
Well, yeah, that's perfect. Everybody's going to be like, hey, John can bring all the best stuff to all the parties and all the events.
At work, they actually don't put someone next to me in my desks, in the cubicle spaces, because it's where I stage bakes. So they just never put anyone there because they know I fill it with baked goods, and they're like, we're not going to fill that desk.
Wow.
You can sit somewhere else. Either way, it's a fun time, but yes, it's also very good stress relief.
Awesome.
Wait,
what would you tell someone today that is? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you cut out for a second.
Oh no. Okay, I think we got you back. I heard a little glitch.
Okay.
Oh yes. The other question I had is what advice would you give someone that is struggling today? I mean, you're a go-getter, motivator. What about someone that's just kind of backwards and shy? What do they do?
Yeah, and I actually get this question a lot, because usually at CIT trainings or all those other fun things, people are like, well, what does someone else do? They're not you, and they're right. I have a job that I know state legislators, I know regulators, I know people. So when that NAMI wasn't answering me after that, I finally got fed up after that 9 months, 10 months, and I went to the state NAMI. I just went to their office, and I could do that because I was a lobbyist. I lived nearby, and I could be like, hey, I've seen you around the State House, Luke. Let's have a conversation. He's like, I had no idea this was going on. And that's when the ball started to roll. So I mean, I could do that. Most people can't. So I say that with the people that I tell people first is realize you're not alone. And this goes especially too for, I say, not only those suffering from mental illness, but their loved ones, because their loved ones feel very isolated because you don't have the same resources as one of other care.
Yeah.
You might not know about NAMI or support groups. And at first you're just like, what do I do? Like, and especially in a marriage, like I say mine, like that's a partner. So you're looking down and you're like, your friends go and they're doing other things. And you go, well, I can't do that. I'm by myself kind of. So first is realize you're not alone. Second off is then finding that support, which, as I said, NAMI is a great resource. Heartwoods is a great resource. I recommend you do all of the above. And I say all of the above because we serve different purposes in this weird mental health space, and we all can help each other. And sometimes you need different things. And it's important to have all those numbers on your Rolodex, you know? Like I say of NAMI, like we have support groups, we have resources. And I've done things too where like I've taught family to family class to people off hours. They're not, and that's where someone's like, hey, I can't make this one class, but I really need some help. I'll do a class for them at 6 a.m. I'll do a class for them late at night. And that kind of stuff is like, just people know they're not alone, but also like they can get the resources they need. But as a first, you're not alone, get the resources. And last message is too, is, take care of yourself. Something that in the NAMI books I tell everyone is you got to put on your oxygen mask. I'm a big dork. I have friends that play board games, do things. And unless something absolutely top line emergency comes up, I don't skip my Thursday night group every other week. If my wife's not doing too well, I make sure I schedule plans with a friend for her, help her guide and get her there. And I do my activity because that to me that's my oxygen mask. That's my time where I can just breathe and stuff like that. Like do take care of yourself, because if you don't and you fall off, you can't put the mask on someone else. So.
And that's so true. And we think about that all the time because we want to help. And then you're running low. We talk about this all the time. Like, take care of yourself. We never do it enough. It's like I have to schedule time for me to do that.
Yeah. Well, you and Lynn both help everyone do everything in the community. I get it because sometimes things are going on and it's hard. You do it the same way as me. You want to do everything. And then if you don't take the time for yourself, you'll start to feel the burnout eventually. It'll take you longer than most people. But when it does, you can crash hard. So it's important to put on that mask.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you know, we can't pour from an empty cup. That's for sure.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for coming on here today and just talking to us. We appreciate it. And I definitely want to come to one of the NAMI meetings and you have some baked goods there. That's like a whole thing now.
The problem I run into,
unless you do.
Yeah. The problem is it's during work days. So like I have to bring them to work first because they go straight from work and they don't ever survive the office. So that's the worst part for y'all. Cause like I've brought in tons and they just don't survive because people text message. I'll get people from random floors coming up. Like we're a big building downtown. Like some people I met people because they show up. And I like that too, because you never know who you're going to meet.
Yes.
Exactly. I'll throw one more thing on your podcast though, if I may, just for those listening, those trying to say, what can I do next? Cause like they might have gone to the Heartwoods Fest if you guys do other activities and they might go, okay, well, what else can I do? And you both have heard me preach this, preach to the choir here, but reach out to NAMI, get involved, especially if you can run a support group, help teach a class, or just want to take our course and see if that's for you. That is directly helping families. That's directly helping those suffering from mental illness. And I say like that's where the real advocacy work kind of the rubber meets the road. Yeah. And that's where that's why I say I love what we do together in our partnership, because we can actually, you guys are providing so much awareness and trying to break down these stigma walls. And then these people that have never said anything might come and go, hey, I actually need help. And that's when you guys can go, hey, here's support groups, here's this, call NAMI. And we've had referrals because of what you guys do. So it's cool. And anyone who's in those stages, I want to see that ball roll and keep rolling.
Yes. I agree. Yeah.
We want to do it as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes. Thank you so much. Well,
thank you.
I appreciate it. And yes, keep doing what you're doing. We're going to do what we're doing and working together.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you both. Have a good night.
Hey, have a great weekend, John.
You too. Bye.
Bye. See you later.